Here we go. Let's fucking part one out. Let's just shit a podcast out.
Let's
Fucking
just
keep
fucking
moving.
poo out a
Let's
potty,
just-
huh?
Do a fucking turd and upload it.
Let's
Oh.
shit this episode
Let's
out,
just
boys.
Get this out of the fuck. Hey.
Let's,
Can we keep this in the episode?
uh,
We can?
yeah, we can put it in. Yeah, I was going to say, let's treat this podcast like a colonic center.
Oh, we're keeping it in. We're keeping it in. Just hit
Yeah.
Yeah,
start.
all right, hit the sound effect. Go. Guys, welcome to episode 104 or 3 of the Luke and Lewis show. We are back in quarantine.
We're back.
doing the
We've
show
taken
via
our
Zoom.
laxatives and now we are shitting out another pod. It doesn't
That's
even matter
right.
that you fucked up the intro because this podcast is just going to be one old turd of a show.
Well, look, you can't say that I fucked up the intro when you said let's poo and make that the intro. That's what I think.
Yeah, I didn't start off the poo thing. You were the first one. I think if we go back to the recording, you were the first one who said, let's poo out a podcast.
No, that was actually Ruben.
That was me.
Oh, okay.
But it was not my
Why does
suggestion to leave
Ruben
it
sound weird again?
You're now a chipmunk. Fix
There's
your
something going on
microphone.
with Ruben's microphone. He sounds like a fucking jockey.
in. I should sound alright in Audacity.
Okay, well,
So-
it's incredibly distracting when...
You can't sound like that for the Zoom call. Can we just switch to the Zoom audio just so we can hear what we're hearing?
Yep. Ruben, how was it? How was your last spring carnival?
Oh,
Oh,
no, you sound
now
good.
it's back.
I fixed it.
Great.
No.
Well, just for the bit, can you now go back to jockey? Because otherwise this will be very confusing.
I have no idea what's going on, guys. I don't think it's even recording anymore.
Oh, man. Quarantine sucks.
You weren't kidding. We are fucking pooping out a podcast here.
Guys, welcome back to the Quarantine Podcast. We
Like a
are in
poo
lockdown
cast.
for the next 6 weeks. So this is what's going to be on the podcast for the next 12 episodes.
Boys,
Uh,
my stress
yeah.
level on my watch is at a 64. Okay, we need to just take a few deep breaths.
Yeah.
I'm going grey over here. I'm going to look like Obama at the end of his presidency. Okay?
Black.
No, grey in the hair.
well,
He was black at the start of his presidency.
yeah, but imagine if he wasn't. That'd be like the opposite of Justin Trudeau. You know, he was black facing before he was the leader of a country, and then
Yeah,
he stopped it.
he did the opposite of a Michael Jackson.
Guys, what's really important here is that on July 31st, my U2's figure drops on U2's.com, 5 p.m. US Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you grab that.
That annoys
and I'm so
me.
glad that we don't have to talk about working in a garage because we're not there anymore.
No, we're not in Lewis's garage anymore. We are now obviously over Zoom, which I think even audio people have realized the shift in
Yeah.
energy. Because Victoria, Melbourne, Melbourne, where we live, is on lockdown again for 6 weeks due to the coronavirus because we all
Thanks, everyone.
fucked it up. We are the America of Australia.
That really is true. No, you know what? You know what it was? It was the minute they went down to stage 2, everyone was like, "Oh, we're cured," and everyone just stopped social distancing.
Yep.
Everyone just started going out, seeing their friends, and just acted as normal. I literally saw it happen, like a shift at my local shops. Everyone was distancing, and then the minute we went down, everyone's like, "Oh, it's over.
Yeah.
we're cured." It's like, no, we're not.
Now I wonder if people will learn from their mistake, like
Maybe
the next time, because like
I think they might.
I went to the shops yesterday, like to go shopping, and people were giving people an even wider berth from the first time. Like it was
Yeah.
a way different energy to even the first lockdown, because the first lockdown were like it was new, so everyone's like, "Oh, we're supposed to be 1.5 meters apart," and now everyone now gets it, and they're like, "Get the fuck away!" Like people are like giving you
Yes.
the eyes, like shooing you with their face.
That's good. Yeah, I noticed that today now because the government's recommending masks now, which I thought that we should have done from the start because it'd probably be over by now.
I've
but
ordered some
whatever.
online.
Oh, you have? That's
have.
good. Yeah, even my mum texts me. She's like, I can't work it out. Can you buy me some masks? So I bought masks for mum. that's a big thing because, a few weeks ago she was saying, I don't know if it's real.
Yeah, right.
I said, Mum, what are you following on Instagram? I found her following all of these conspiracy accounts. I said, Mum, who's posting that? She said, I don't know. I said, exactly. Unfollow that now.
Yeah. It's like now that 3AW is talking about it, old people believe it.
Yeah, that's so true. But I saw even in Frankston, one woman was wearing her scarf as a mask. And I was like, oh, that's crazy. Normally, I was the insane person, the only guy in the whole neighborhood wearing a mask. But I saw some woman scarfing up. And then I went back like an hour later. There was this guy who was wearing a face mask and an eye patch. That's like 70% of his whole face covered.
He might as well just wear a balaclava at this point.
That's what I was
just
thinking.
Rob you on the street. It's in Frankston.
Yeah.
That's so weird. Do the scarves work? Because I see a lot of people draping various cotton around their face. Does that
They
have the
don't
same
work
effect?
as well, but it does work. The whole thing with the mask is even the mask that I have, the N95, it doesn't necessarily protect me. It protects everyone around me.
You know what model your mask is?
Yes, I
Like
got the
it's a
N95.
phone.
Yes, it's the best type of mask that you can get.
How
What
do
did
you
you
know
get?
mask models? I don't know.
I just looked up what the doctors were recommending, and they recommended N95. So I'm like, I'm going to get that. I think the N95 has the best type of filter that isn't like a gas mask.
Right. So it makes it better for you to breathe as well.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Although some people were telling me, because mine has an exhale valve on it, so apparently that actually doesn't protect. That only protects me. Doesn't protect anyone around me because my breath goes out the fucking valve. So now I'm thinking I need to buy a new mask.
Yeah, you look like Bane when you wear yours anyway.
Yeah.
You look like skinny, long Bane. Like,
Lucky Bane.
You just like have this energy about you that looks intimidating when you wear the mask. You look like you're a criminal, but I know you're
Yeah.
not. But other people don't.
I know, yeah, I do get that. But especially in Frankston, because most people there are criminals anyway. So
Yeah.
if you amp it up even a tiny bit, they're like, oh, he's gonna rob me.
Yeah, because imagine like what Lewis usually wears, and then put a black mask over his face, and it's
Yeah.
quite like it is like an expensive, like it looks more like a fashion item or like
Yeah.
a robbing item, a crime item,
Yeah.
more than like a health thing.
And that's exactly the vibe that I was going
Yeah,
for.
great.
Normally I give off the school shooter vibe, but now with the mask, it's like school shooter ready for tear gas.
Yeah. Now, Lewis,
Yeah.
we need to circle back to an argument that came up on the show between you and Ruben about 2 or 3 weeks ago now.
Uh-huh.
You are quite against androids. I think most
oh, good.
people
the
who...
audio's dropped out. That's amazing. I can't hear you anymore. I
must be the
love
bloody
quarantine!
I don't think he's using his iPhone, Ruben, so stay
you
out of it.
fucking
All right, you sound like a
Don't.
jockey sometimes. Wait, so is Ruben's computer just... No, wait.
Oh, you're back.
Oh, yes?
Yes, you're back.
Right.
Must be
okay.
the bloody Mac.
Oh no, it was the internet connection. Okay, you're back.
Suspicious.
Was
Great.
it an Android
what were you
internet connection?
Yes, actually, I don't have an Apple router, so that's the problem. It's
Yeah.
bloody Android.
I thought so. Now, you were having a go at Ruben. I mean,
Yeah.
only once on record, but every single day for the last month off air, you were having a dig at Ruben because he bought a new phone that was not an iPhone. And
now, I would like to just say that even before he bought the phone, you and I both said, Ruben said, oh, I'm thinking about getting a new phone. And now you and I, I've been doing this shit since 2012. I started with an Android even. And then the minute I got on the iPhone, I realized that if you want to do social media properly, you need an iPhone. This isn't all you Android nerds who want to do weird programming shit on their fucking spaceship phones. This is if you want a job in social media, you need an iPhone and an Apple laptop. And we told Ruben this. We said, mate, you want to make it in this industry, you need the right tools. It's like if I worked at a job site, my dad's a builder, and he goes, hey, mate, don't get that hammer. It fucking sucks, and if you take it on a plane, it'll explode. I would probably listen to him. But Ruben thought, you know what? Nah.
It's not equivalent to taking a jackhammer on a plane, I don't think.
but it is
Well-
still a bomb. I think that's what we can take away from it.
Yeah, your phone's explosive. That's what we're saying.
Now,
It was a good 8 months when I was flying around. Every pre-flight message said, "If you have this type of Samsung,
Yeah.
get the fuck off the plane."
in the comment section below, in the sound off section below this podcast where you two are talking about it, Lewis, you were called out saying people said it's crumb energy bashing Androids, and it was one of the top comments. And so, but you're right. I don't think people understand is they don't have to do this as a job. I fully support you here because without AirDrop, this is how you have to post on Instagram. If you cannot AirDrop something from your Mac to your iPhone, you have to upload that video to like Google Drive or Dropbox or something, and then log in on your freaking Android. So that probably takes half an hour. Then you got to download it into your camera roll. And then by the time you've done
And
that,
then post it.
I'm already like 3 videos ahead of you.
And then the video that you're uploading is lower quality because you've uploaded it, downloaded it, then uploaded it. And you had to do all of that in a fucking bomb-proof vest.
Yes. Yeah, and not to mention, whenever you post an Instagram story, Ruben, the hate that you get in our DMs is, God damn it, can you tell Ruben to stop? People wanted to ban you from the Instagram account.
What? I never
if
saw
you
this.
post, Ruben, when you post a story on the Luke and Lewis Instagram account, especially if it's like in between one that Luke and I do, so if it goes Luke, Ruben, me, the difference in quality is astounding.
Okay.
It's absolutely ridiculous.
I deleted-
That's the thing with...
I deleted one the other day. It was just a DM that said, fuck you, Ruben. It was just replying to your story and it just went, fuck you, Ruben, because they hated the quality of the video.
I think that
Now-
might be my old phone. I think my old phone was just old and the camera was crap. I think my new phone is fine. It should be good, guys.
That is incorrect. Now, Ruben, what I asked you to do before this episode, as part of your job, is I wanted, because you still don't think that you've made the wrong decision here. Is that right? You think Android's the way to go?
Absolutely correct.
Right. Okay.
Stand by
Now, what I've asked you to do is I want you to tell me 5 things that your phone can do that mine cannot.
Easy peasy. All right. Number 1. We'll start this off nice and simple. It's got a headphone jack, boys. Checkmate.
That's true.
Okay. Never heard of wireless headphones, but whatever. Okay. This guy's living in 2009. Continue.
Every time I carpool with Luke, he's fucking fumbling around to get the little adapter so we can fucking use the headphone jack in his car.
Yeah.
No,
where
not
I'm
true.
just
The
plug and
adapter's
play.
always on it, and you're the only annoying person in my life that takes it out because you're the only person I know with a fucking Android.
Yeah, true. Okay, checkmate defeated.
I don't think that's what happened in that interaction, but we'll move on. My phone has a back button. So
What do you mean? Like the little fucking back? So does every phone. You just go like that and it takes you back.
no, well, your phones only have like a home thing, don't they?
No, the old iPhones do. Now they're all swipe. It's all touch. They don't have a button.
Okay.
If we want to go back, we just swipe back.
All right. Well, how about this? How do you how do you swipe back? How do you do it?
We just go like that. It takes you back. Or if you want to open up like everything you've been looking at, you go like that.
Okay.
Pretty good.
That's what mine does now. All right. Fair enough. Fine. Whatever. All right. I have old information.
Okay, great. Yep.
That's not
And-
a shock.
and
You probably
it's-
looked it up on your Android.
So Ruben currently has 0.5 of a point.
I'm
So
glad
his-
you guys-
His jack point was only annoying if you don't have wireless headphones and also if you have a friend with an iPhone.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm actually really glad for you guys that you guys have finally
Oh,
caught
good.
up
My
to
audio's
2008
dropped out again.
technology.
I love Zoom!
Awesome. So what do we do now?
We just
Fuck. Okay, I'm back.
Okay,
Sorry,
good.
Android internet.
All right, here we go. Next one. Guys, I can customize my home screen. I can put widgets on it. Can you do that? Didn't think so.
Yes, it's an update that's coming in
oh,
with the next
coming
version
soon.
of iPhone.
Oh, all right. And when have we
Yeah.
had that since? Probably since the start of Android.
What
I
do you
think.
mean widgets? Like, as in you can check the weather?
So, well, for example, here's one. I can put my
No, widgets are really cool.
I can put my calendar on my home screen. I can put my notes app on my home screen. Shouldn't show you guys
Very
that
cool.
actually. Yeah, so I can scroll those without actually having to enter the app. Clocks, things like
Okay.
that.
There's one
good point.
thing that yours can't do, but that's coming to iPhone in the next couple of months.
No, I
So-
would like to just ask, how does that affect your workflow, Ruben? Widgets.
Makes
Yeah, it
things-
doesn't apply
oh,
to your job.
So efficient, guys. I can check the date, boom, like that. I can scroll my notes like that.
The
It's just-
date's on the home screen of the iPhone.
You can.
It's there. It's the 13th of July.
I can check the calendar. All sorts of things about the calendar.
I mean, look, the widget. It's not. It's like
not a
yes,
game
but it's
changer.
not. It's not a game changer because the only difference between you and me, for now, this will change. Is I just have to hit that and then it's open. That's it.
All right. Well, I'm glad you guys are finally catching up. Is what I'm hearing, and I'm really happy
Yep.
for you guys. That's awesome.
Yep.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Well, this one came in from Alex and said if Ruben continues to upload using his Android, his Luke and Lewis Instagram admin authority should be taken away from him. We're
you
not
guys.
telling people to write these, mate. These are organic hate messages you're getting.
Yep. Organic. And what was your last point, Ruben?
I got so many to pick from here. Let me have a browse. Oh,
Yeah.
which one should I do? Which one? Oh, how about this? I can clear all notifications.
Did you Google what
so can I.
Androids
There's
can
a-
do?
I don't think you can. I did actually. Yes.
That sounds like
so can I look? Here's all my notifications.
Yeah.
There's a little X here, and then clear. They're all gone.
They're all gone. Okay.
They're all gone.
right, let me find another one. I can download third.
Are we
party,
done here?
I can do third-party keyboards.
Ruben,
This
Can you
is
do
I
that?
think we're
embarrassing.
done. I think what I would like to move on to, Ruben, is I have 5 things that I have literally asked you to do recently that you haven't been able to
Oh,
do
sure.
because of your phone. Okay.
Yep.
Number 1, I asked you to post a TikTok. Couldn't do that. Remember when you tried to post a TikTok and you had to log on to Luke's phone
Yeah.
just to post a TikTok?
You know, if you go onto Ruben's TikTok and if you find the Pokemon Go TikTok, please go and comment on that video. Wow, thanks, Luke, for that. Because he did have to use my phone to film that because his phone didn't like the green screen keying thing.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
a shame. That was a big shame.
Any thoughts? Couldn't use one of the most popular features of TikTok, the green screen feature. Any thoughts on that?
I didn't see that one coming. That one did hurt. I'll be
Androids
honest.
block Chinese spyware, which is pretty disappointing.
Number 2, we asked you, and this is something that we asked you to do every day because this is your job. We asked you to move footage from the Mac to your phone. Now, we said before you bought the Android, we said you need AirDrop to do your job, and you said, I don't think so. And now every time you have to get something from the computer to your phone, you do what?
He sends it to us and I always decline it. He tries to airdrop it to my phone from the Mac and I just hit decline. I'm like, oh, is that my problem? I don't think so.
Well,
that's what
Keelan's
Luke's
always
job,
got
isn't
my
it?
back on that one, guys, and I just want to
Yeah.
give a shout out to Keelan for doing that. That's awesome. I will say though, I've seen news reports that we've actually got a similar feature coming to Android very soon.
What, Bluetooth? It was from like 2005.
All right,
That's
next
wild.
one. Come on, Lewis.
Right, next one. I have asked you to schedule an Instagram post. Post an Instagram at a specific time.
No, that's just the AirDrop thing again.
Okay. Well, regardless of asked you to do it, you've been unable to do it because of your phone.
No, that's
and
still the AirDrop thing.
okay,
You
well
can't-
then-
you can't
all right,
claim that
okay.
as the next another one.
okay, fine, fair. I have 6 reasons anyway. I have asked you to take a good photo. And I've also asked you to FaceTime. You can't do that either. So well done, Ruben.
Oh, thank
Congratulations,
you. Thanks, guys.
mate.
It really means a lot.
How are you feeling about your phone purchase now as you try to make it in social media and it is like a ball and chain?
Guys, it's fantastic. I wouldn't change it for the world. You guys are in the wrong running. You guys are running a different race, and you guys think it's all about this or connectivity or good photos. It's absolutely incorrect.
I mean, yes, we work in social media.
Sounds like a scam to me.
All right.
Oh, fuck.
Now, one thing we do need to do an update on. People might remember it was almost a couple months ago now, and we never went back to it. We realized on the show that I realized that Osher Ginsburg hates me. Potentially. Unconfirmed, but
maybe.
we have good reason to believe that Osher, who hosts The Bachelor, people might remember him as Andrew G from Australian Idol. We have reason to believe that he dislikes me because he started blocking some of my fans when they would message him positive things, being like, hey, have you seen Luke Kidgel's new video? He gives you a great rap. I've never said a bad word about Osher.
I mean, you did dead name him. You said Andrew G. That's a sin.
I'm not sure how he feels about that. Does he not like that?
No. I don't know.
I don't know.
I just wanted to say dead naming an Andrew G.
Okay. True, I did do that. But a lot of people, may not know him from his recent work. You should. He's the most attractive Australian television host. Great haircut.
Now, if
charisma.
a man half my age was saying this about me, I might start deleting some comments.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying I don't know why he hates me. I'm saying we have reason to believe he does. And this is
he has motive and probable cause.
this is part of the reason is I'm fucking insufferable when I talk about him. So he's started blocking my fans on Instagram. He does still follow me. So about a couple of months ago, a listener of the show came up with a plan of forgiveness. He said, if we'll just comment stuff on Osher's posts about forgiveness, we can subtly plant the idea of forgiving Luke into Osher's mind for whatever
and
Luke's
this is
done.
forgiveness without saying Luke's name at all. So just the purely the concept of forgiveness.
Yeah, and then I realized recently, a few people reminded me that I actually never gave an update on how the forgiveness went. And if you go down on some of his posts, particularly recently after, even a few recent ones, people still do it. All the top comments are people posting about forgiveness, but I think Osher might be deleting some comments because at the time,
Really?
I was posting screenshots on Luke and Lewis, and there are a lot more. And I reckon he's either filtered out the word forgiveness on some of his posts.
Yeah.
Here's a good one. So he's gone, what kind of day are you having? Blah, blah, blah. And he kind of posted something about about positivity. And a few people commented, this has 7 likes, saying, I'm going to forgive all today. So just subtly
That's good.
implanting the mind. 7 likes.
That's good. Doesn't say Luke's name at all, just talking vaguely about forgiveness. That's great.
Yep. The top comment was from Hope. She said, I'm going to spread forgiveness with my family today. 11 likes. Love that. And there was a few more people saying, Osher wrote a post about what he loves. And someone wrote, I love to forgive annoying people.
Yes, that's good.
Very good.
That's very good.
Anne said we need to... so he posted something about global warming and climate change. And about the next generation's responsibility. So Anne said, we need to forgive the generation before us. Climate change has an issue they ignored, and now they should forgive our generation. So a double forgive.
That is good. That's like, I love that there's a real subtext of our show of like covert Instagram operations with our fans. I love that no one blows it, no one ruins it, no one goes, Luke Kidgel's trying to get you to forgive him. Everyone's just like a spy who listens to this show.
No one snitched yet, which is great to see, but I do think he's realized there's something going on, but he would have no idea where it's coming from.
Yeah.
So,
well, what's the next move in this operation?
I think we ramp it up to ×2 speed. I think we just keep going. It's definitely working. We have slacked off a little bit, but that's because we stopped reminding you. That's our bad. Get on Osher's Instagram and even just think of synonyms for forgiveness. You know, maybe I can't really think of one. Hang on. Hang on, I'm just gonna look it up. You can pardon me. They're like, Osher, have you ever thought about pardoning or excusing or absolving or exonerating or acquitting Luke in your mind.
Oh, that's
You could
great.
let him off.
Couldn't
It's
think of
another
something.
one.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or you could give him some amnesty.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So any of those words would be great under a comment.
Don't you guys
All right. Well,
fear?
we'll see how that goes.
Don't you fear that sort of the point of it is that it's subtle? It's an inception of an idea rather than if you sort of bombard him, come in too hot. Don't you think
Yeah.
he'll smell a rat?
I think he already smells a rat.
Well, we could maybe throw him off the scent by chucking in another concept as well.
Yeah.
No, I think
know?
just the different ways of forgiveness, like the synonyms
Yeah.
will throw him off the scent. Because if people are
Yeah,
talking about
that's good.
amnesty and absolving tension in the comments, he'll be like, it'll just still implant that what he needs to be thinking.
Yeah.
And then what's the final play here? Is the final play message him going, do you forgive me?
Yeah. I think that's the final play.
Okay,
Is
great.
that, after a solid month of forgiveness posting, you hit him up and go, hey, mate, do you forgive me? To see what happens. I think what we really want is we want Osher Ginsburg comment section to look like a sermon from a Catholic priest, just talking about forgiveness.
Yeah, forgiving Luke for his sins. But I don't really do anything
Yeah.
other than just talk about him all the time. My biggest sin is loving him too much as a host.
Well, some would call that stalking, which
No,
is
it's
a
not
criminal
stalking.
offense.
I just think he's a charismatic guy with great hair and rock hard abs. Not Bali, not those Bali shots that got posted in Women's Weekly about 10 years ago.
Yeah, they were a bit chunky.
That was
Osher.
rough, poor Osh. But again, I forgave that, and that's what he needs
Yeah.
to do to me.
Yeah, I mean, really, your rig's on that path anyway. So there's something to bond over.
Yeah, soon I'm going to write a book about my redemption story. But first, I have to have a redemption story. You know, I was a Grinch-bodied alcoholic, and look at me now.
Mm-hmm.
Now I'm just an alcoholic.
Luke, I think something's happened here, and it's time for a regular segment.
Okay.
That fan favorite segment, as we all know. It's time for this. Businesses exposed. You've been a naughty business. That's right, guys. It's time for Businesses Exposed, where I will be exposing a business. If you have an ABN, you better fucking watch out. Ruben, you just got an ABN, so you are now officially a business. You better behave yourself, mate.
Yep. No worries.
Good. You are now in the
Good.
scope of being, I guess, called out on this segment. And I have an ABN. I always come in a little bit nervous. Lewis probably gets nervous. He has an ABN. He's never exposed himself, but I would like to see some
Mate.
self-awareness one day.
I have 1.5 ABNs, I've got my ABN for my business, and I own half of the ABN for Luke and Lewis.
true.
So, we could cop it at any moment.
Yep.
But that's not what this is about today. I've already exposed Ruben for having an Android, so I'll let him slide. I don't want to punch him while he's green.
And a Luke and Lewis off the hook as well.
Yes, they are.
thank God.
Today, I will be exposing a business that really should be exposed just about every time I interact with them, and that is Australia Post.
I'm very, very glad you brought this up because I've had some issues with them as well. I might dogpile on at the end if it gets nasty.
Guys, very rarely do I ever agree with the idea that we should take away government funding from government bodies, but with Australia Post, okay, we need to stop giving them their money. They've blown it. They don't deserve it. All they do is hurt me and make me feel terrible. Australia Post, well renowned for having the worst customer service in the game, and it's also some of the worst prices. Some of the most expensive items I've ever shipped are with Australia Post, and they are incredibly slow. But even that is not what this is about today. As you guys know, we'll be doing a lot of shipping, sending out all of the socks and all of the terrible posters as well. Now, I've moved all of my shipping away from Australia Post. 100% of shipping is not done by Australia Post. It's a huge business milestone for me that I achieved this year. I think we can all be very proud of that. Now, that was until we had to sell all of these posters for Luke and Lewis. I was looking for poster tubes, and unfortunately, the cheapest place to get them was Australia Post. Very surprising. So I ordered 100 poster tubes to send out all of these posters, thinking, man, this is going to be my last ever interaction with Australia Post. They get delivered. This guy comes up. He drives his van down my driveway, drops off the tubes. I'm like, yuck, Australia Post, whatever, as long as it's quick. And then he slowly starts to reverse. And on the way out, he crashes into my fucking fence and tips it over. My whole brick fence is fucked because of Australia Post. The last time I ever used their business, and they vandalized my home. I thought they couldn't get any fucking worse. They vandalized my house.
See, Lewis sent this photo in the group chat during the week, and it's just rubble. Like, I could not believe it. They full on plowed through essentially like a brick wall, like a short.
It's a brick wall.
And we can. I don't know if we can chuck up the photo because it might dox your front yard. But imagine rubble. If you've ever seen ruins before of what was a brick wall, imagine that all over the pavement. And I was shocked. At first, you said Australia posted this, and I was picturing a guy on a motorbike like a postie. I was like, how did someone fuck up that hard? But then I realized, yes, it would have had to be a car.
I watched him do it. He's in this big van and he's reversing out. And I have a very big driveway. This would be difficult to do. Even all of my neighbors have come around and be like, how did that happen? It's so big. I'm like, dude, I don't know. I watched him do it. He's like reversing out and then he taps the brick wall. I'm like, oh, he's going to get in trouble for denting the car there. And then he looks over, sees the wall and goes, oh, fuck, I've hit that. And then he just keeps going and collapses the entire wall. And then I come out. Luckily, I'm me, so I just thought it was funny. If it was like a neighbor or something, he would have got abused, I bet.
You currently don't seem amused.
Oh, I'm not now, but at the time I thought it was pretty funny.
And did he apologize?
Yeah, he was devastated. I'm like, oh man, that sucks. And he goes, oh, I'm so sorry. It's my first week on the job. I know, poor bastard.
So, are they paying for it?
Well, I think they are but I don't know because obviously it's not my house, so they're sorting it out with the landlord. There's actually some guy with half a nose fixing it at the moment.
Half a nose?
Yeah, half his nose is missing. He's Australia Post bricklayer.
Right.
That's how often this happens. They have a bricklayer.
Oh, really?
Yes, he goes, yeah, I used to be a postie and then I just moved into bricklaying because it made sense.
He's like, but at this point we were running over more brick walls than delivering mail. So that was more of an opportunity with the bricklaying side of the business.
I know. So they're doing that, and that's great. And Australia Post sucks. So, guys, when you receive your posters, for anyone who managed to grab them, just know that cost me $1.50 and a brick wall.
Right. Well, I also have a gripe with Australia Post. Went into post some merch this week. It was some posters. Again, a tube issue. Mm-hmm. Posted off all the Australian ones fine. Then it got to the international orders. And, you have to fill in the customs form, which sucks.
Yeah.
Right? They were like, oh, yeah, I have to put a return address on it. And I was like, I'm not putting my address on this thing and sending it out to a fan. And they're like, no, you have to. And I was like, I've never had to do that in the past. I always just leave it blank. And like, but it will get lost in the post. I'm like, that's cool. Don't care. I'd rather just send another one if it gets lost. And they're like, all right. And then we had this massive argument. And then she was just like, she then just handed me a pamphlet to buy a PO box. She just ended the argument by going, here's how we resolve this. You give us $300 a year. And now I'm just going to do that because I'm a fucking piece of shit. And I couldn't be bothered to argue with her anymore. So I think I'm just going to move away from Australia Post. I need to figure out like an international courier service.
DHL's so much better. I'll hook you up. Way better. I used to, when I was doing that with Australia Post, I used to put my return address as the radio station where we used to work. And like we didn't even have a mailbox or anything. And like once a month, maybe three packages would get returned because Australia Post sucks. And there would always be like some t-shirt that has my name on it, and they'd like some receptionist person who's never seen me would be like, are you Lewis? I'd be like, yeah, do you have any t-shirts for me? She'd be like, yes.
That's fucked. Yeah, I was gonna put 42 Wallaby Way, Sydney on it, but she looked kind of young, and I was like, she'll probably understand this is the fictional address from Finding Nemo, and this will not.
You could have done 43 Wallaby Way.
That's true. Therefore, that's actually not a real address. I've looked it up. Yeah, it's made up.
Well, cop that, Australia. Post.
Anyway,
hit the second
we
button.
got him. Oh my god, I'm so exposed. Dogs.
Got him.
Great. What else do we have to talk about?
Boys, I've fucked my neck again. I think that I'm 80. I've completely, one of the vertebrae in my neck is just going to the right.
You're just 2 meters tall. You're too long.
Yeah, I'm too big. I think that I was saying on my podcast, I think that the problem is that we probably should have started like dying by 30 and we live too long. That's where all these health issues are coming from, just living too long.
Yeah,
we need to bring back gangrene.
your spine just can't handle your head.
I know. Well, the physio, he's like having a feel around and he's like, what's happening here is you're actually standing up too straight. My posture's too good.
Yeah, you do stand up oddly straight and you walk like weirdly tall. And you don't need that extra height when you walk. You could slouch a bit and it'd be fine.
Yeah. So now he's told me to like go home and slouch is my exercise. So that's why I'm sitting here like Quasimodo trying to fix my neck. It's fucked.
Right. So you have to do the opposite of a normal person, reverse engineer your neck.
Yeah. I know.
Right.
It's really weird.
Can you go get the lull horn from the garage?
Yeah, it's a studio. Oh, I mean, it's a garage. I've looked like I'm having a stroke every time I say that now. Guys, quarantine is going like this. And this is how it's going, guys. We were on such a good run, weren't we? The show was absolutely caning. It was going great. We were building the piss fence thing.
Yeah.
That's all over now, guys. We're now sitting on a Zoom call talking about my neck.
Lewis goes to me, so what
over.
else do you have for the show? And I'm like, what do you mean? And he goes, well, content. Yeah, what other content have you brought to the show? And I went,
Yeah.
Lewis, I've been inside. Would you like me to tell you the story about watching the first half of Hamilton with my girlfriend? I learned a little bit about the American Revolution. I could talk about that.
Yeah.
I filmed a video the other day. That was great. I went to the shops.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do you sound weird again? You sound strange. What have you done? You've changed it. You sound like you've been doing nangs.
Oh my God. All right. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
You sound like you haven't hit puberty. All right. Are we doing celeb spots?
If you're seeing a person you know, and they're doing some
My
really
neck
weird
hurts.
shit, you know the Luke and Lewis show. And then talk about it.
Great. Now, this is a segment we do pretty regularly. You can contribute at lukeandlewis5@gmail.com if you want to send in your celeb spot or celeb interactions, which is the high tier category now of this segment. Lewis is practicing his slouch. It's very distracting.
I dropped my phone on my kneecap and it really hurt.
Ooh. If you had had an Android, it would have been lighter because there's less machinery in it.
No, if it was an Android, it would have fucking blown my whole leg off. Would have exploded.
This one comes in from Adam. He said, 5 years ago, I saw Chris Hemsworth walking past my house, and Steve Smith, the cricket player, was also my neighbour for 1 year. He just moved out.
Oh, that's pretty good. That's a couple of bangers.
Couple of bangers. That's about it, though.
I have one.
No one's been leaving the house and no one's seeing any celebs.
No,
Yeah,
there's
Keelan?
more. I can do more. You do one, Keelan.
It's really not that good though. It's more in like the 99%. But yesterday I was driving home and I recognized someone, but I don't know their name. Like they were walking across along Beach Road towards traffic. I was like, that's a famous person. And then I don't know.
Do you was it a male, female?
Older male. I feel like he's more ABC.
In the media?
Yeah, he's an actor. Yeah,
Mm.
not
So you've
sure.
seen him on TV, but you don't know where from.
Yeah,
Grey hair?
grey hair. Yeah,
Was it Rolf Harris? No, he's not an actor.
no,
He's a famous pedophile.
Yeah.
but yeah. So
Okay.
Well, that's great. I actually got spotted for the first time since like 6 months because I haven't been leaving the house. I was in the city, and this guy goes, "Oh, Lewis." I was like, "Hey, man." And then he kind of walked up to me, didn't know what to do, and I was like, "Oh, sorry, bro. I'm doing the whole social distancing thing." And then he was like, "Oh, yeah, cool. Can I get a photo?" And I said, "Yeah, that's all good. Just from, safe distance away." And then he came right next to me, took a selfie, and I looked unpleased. So that was my interaction.
Yeah. So your fans can't understand and comprehend English.
I guess so. He was
Right.
nice. I think he was just excited, but now I may die.
Well, that's good. This one is from Joanna. She said, "Hey, boys, I just remembered a celeb spot I had from probably 4 years ago. I went to Washington, D.C., and I was walking down the street and saw a guy going for a run wearing sunglasses and a hat. Classic celeb
Yeah.
stealth mode vibe.
I mean, I do that all the time.
Oh, you would never go for a run. You have asthma, and that's not the reason why you don't go for runs still. You just don't do that. It's not
Just, asthma has nothing to do with it. Just don't want to go for a run.
yeah, it's more the cardio aspect.
Yeah, but I do wear a hat sometimes.
Yeah, and glasses. I turned to my friend and said, "That guy's going to think I'm weird for staring, but he looks exactly like Joe Jonas." I told my mum and sister the story later, and they told me to check Twitter to see if he was in DC. I checked that he posted a video there earlier, so it definitely was Joe Jonas. I tried to find the tweet to send it to you, but it does not appear to exist anymore, so it could be fake news as well.
Ooh, could be hashtag fake news. Okay,
Yep.
well that's good. I'll believe it because I want to. And that's how
Yep.
news works these days. It's like, oh mate, I would like to believe that, so I will.
Who's Joe Swanson, the character?
the wheelchair guy from Family Guy.
Ah, cool. Patrick said, I met
Pickle
Patrick Warburton, voice of Joe Swanson, when he was speaking at my middle school. He was talking about how drugs are bad.
That's funny. That
The
guy.
school paid the guy in the wheelchair from Family Guy to tell kids not to do weed.
That guy's so funny because he's such an interesting voice actor where like most voice actors get hired because they're super talented and they can do like 60 different voices, whereas that Joe Warburton guy just goes, "Hey guys, I'm Joe." He does the same fucking voice for every character. Wasn't he Crunk in like Emperor's New Groove? And then he's also been an actor like in real TV, and he does that voice. It's like that's what he does. He's like, I do this voice only. It's great.
Yeah. This one's a celeb interaction from Emma. Does anyone watch the show Wolf Creek?
I know of it. Yeah. Did
Yeah,
she get
okay.
murdered by the guy it's based on?
Right. No, I don't. But she did have a pretty negative experience though. Not quite as bad as murder because she's sending
No?
in the
Okay.
email. Hey boys, I once went out for brekkie with a friend of mine and met John Jarrett, the main guy in Wolf Creek. I went to introduce myself because I'm a big fan, and he mistook me for a waitress and proceeded to complain to me about his raw eggs.
That's great.
She goes, it gets better. So she's not a waitress. We cannot make that clear enough. She goes, I ended up taking his plate to the counter and explain what happened to the actual staff. In the end, I felt too awkward to say anything to him, and I just sat back at my table. What
That's
a bad
so
experience.
That's
so
so
rude.
good. I wish I had that. I wish I had that power. To just turn anyone into a waitress.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't have done that. Even if it had been someone I respected, I would have been like, I don't work here.
That's so funny. Some people just crumble under pressure and they just go, "Oh, okay, yes." I used to do that shit all the time, and until I figured out a way to not do it. But that shit used to happen to me all the time. I was always bringing back raw eggs.
Having a backbone, even if it
Yeah.
is slightly bent.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's my problem. My back's too straight now.
Yeah.
I would never take anyone's eggs back, and that's why my neck's fucked. Egg.
All right, guys, we bloody did it. The laxative works. We fucking just shut a big one out,
Look.
didn't we?
It is a shame. It really is a shame we're back in quarantine.
It's a
but
shame.
we looked at it and we were like, oh, we probably could do it in studio because it is work, but we just felt like it wasn't safe and it wasn't a good example to set.
I spoke to a few people about it, and it's just like, it's technically, because the rule is if you can work from home, you have to. And we have 3 months behind us of proof that we can do it from home. It will be pretty hard to argue in court. That we could
and
not
also
do this from home.
it's probably not the safest thing. We need to set a good example because I don't know, I'm taking this shit seriously, so I think everyone else should. So this will be the show for the next 6 weeks unless something changes. The next one will be a lot better. We didn't really have time to get ready for this because it just happened and then we were in quarantine. We had all this other shit planned for studio, like building the piss.
Ruben didn't even have a
apparatus.
chance to get a mic that doesn't make him sound like a jockey.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Very last minute vibe. So thank you all very much for listening. The last Patreon movie night was very fun. We'll be doing it again in a few weeks. So jump on the Luke and Law's Patreon. That's how we fund this show. And we'll be back on Thursday with a brand new app. And you know what? We'll probably piss out an app on Thursday. It'll be better.
Yeah. And then next week we'll probably just like create a good episode and provide it to you. That's going to be the trajectory of this.
Potentially. No promises though.
All
Great.
right, guys. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys in a few days. My neck hurts. Yes.